This celebration also serves as a great opportunity to imagine the future. The future, that ethereal term for what happens next. Our Act 2, where the best is yet to come, and won't it be fine? And it will be. We may not know what we will study or where we will end up, but that's okay. Everything has a way of aligning as a result of your actions. Think about it. Think of everything that you had to do to get here tonight. Think of all the classes that you took, the ones you passed, the ones you might have failed, the lessons that you learned, the decisions that you made, and where it all got you in the end. Here, to this final point. Tonight, we start over. From this moment on, we as a class will never be in the same room again. This is strange and painful, yes, but it allows us much. We can now break free of anything that once held us back and that may have inhibited us from expressing our true selves. We can also utilize this new beginning to influence the lives of others by living unshackled by the expectations of high school culture and politics. We can both live up to our full potential and, in doing so, encourage others to do the same. I say that we are now being granted the opportunity to live up to our full potential because it is not likely that we have even discovered it yet. We have not even dreamed of it yet. We are so close. We are on the cusp of the next part of the journey, the next part of our self-realization and actualization. When we were growing up, we would often hear stories where the hero had greatness thrust upon them. For example, when an orphan named Harry would suddenly awaken to learn that he is a powerful wizard, or in The Princess Diaries, when Amelia Mignonette Grimaldi Thermopolis Ronaldo was told that she was to be the future Queen of Genovia. While these tales of greatness come easy can be uplifting, one may not be able to help but feel a sense of disappointment after watching or reading them, as though your life will never meet up with the incredible achievements that come effortlessly to those in these stories. Well, I'm here to tell you that they can. No, you may never perform miracles, but you can be someone's miracle worker. Don't wait for things to happen by chance, and don't wait for the good to be handed down to you without a little work. Force positivity to come to you through your actions. You may be going to school, starting a job, entering the armed forces. You may eventually find a career that you're passionate about, that doesn't seem like work, where you are lucky to be paid for doing what you love. However, the people you meet along the way will be your greatest opportunity to do true good. That is why tonight is so pivotal. This is the moment. Will you take what you have learned and truly make good use of it? Will you take the time out of your days to make someone else's better? One act to make another happy inspires that other to make yet another happy, and so happiness proliferates. We have so much power in the manner in which we speak to others, though the positive effects are too often overlooked. I leave you this evening with a quote by Timothy Leary. It is as follows. Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close.
Oh my God.
You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider, watching the normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like, have a nice day, and weather's awful today, huh? You yearn inside to say forbidden things like, tell me what makes you cry, or what do you think deja vu is for? Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on conversation with a stranger? Everyone carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life without coincidence. Trust your instincts. Do the unexpected, find the others. Thank you and congratulations to all of my classmates.
century American philosopher Alan Bloom once said, "Education is the movement from darkness to light." I don't think that this darkness is a harsh, evil one, but that it is a darkness of ignorance, a lack of understanding of the world that is around us, which renders us unable to see it clearly. I think today, in this ceremony, represent that point in life where we have been educated well enough to emerge from the darkness and plunge into the light. Good evening, I am Jennifer Golden, in the class of 2013 valedictorian. And at this exciting transition in our lives, I am honored, though still surprised and very nervous, to stand up here before you, speaking in representation of the class of 2013. To the class who stands behind me, many of you I have known for as long as I can remember, some since kindergarten, while others have jumped in along the way. But no matter when you joined Norton High School, you're here now, and to all of you I must say, congratulations. I still cannot believe we made it here today. And to the family members, friends, teachers, and even the band, with whom I have sat back there watching several previous graduations, I must say thanks again for making this possible for us today. As Alan Bloom expressed, for years we have been in the darkness, stumbling around through a maze full of unexpected twists and turns, searching for the exit, for light, for color. As a very young child, I mainly had my parents to guide me through the maze, their lenses of experience refracting light from the outside world. This allowed me to glimpse the wonderful colors the world had to offer, while being protected from the dangers of the outside world. Usually it was the little things, like my parents telling my sisters and I to be in bed before we heard the 10 o'clock train go by, or even them just being there for me. For instance, when my dad would play catch with me outside for hours, even after it had begun to snow. And I can't at all fail to mention the countless essays my mom edited, or the math problems my dad helped me to decipher. With the start of high school, it seemed the paths of the maze grew narrower, darker, more difficult to navigate. It seemed we had no guidance, but actually, it was just more subtle, in the forms of teachers, giving glimpses of the outside world. Madame Penza connected her French classes to the Francophone world through an online word game site called Alpha Cité, and Mr. Kiefer coupled his worldly literature with Vietnamese sandwiches he made as a way to truly bring the vast outside world into our small boxes of knowledge. Through high school, we were pressured to move more quickly through the blind maze, and at times it seemed worthless, at times monotonous. I know it wasn't just me. We all hit dead ends. We all tripped and stumbled in the dark, but we all managed to pick ourselves back up, sometimes with the help of a friend, a parent, or a teacher. For me, I know my sisters were there for me a lot, whether it was Aunt up at 2 a.m. with me, helping to cover my English final with gold glitter, or it was Danielle, who set quite the example to follow. Sometimes we needed the perspective of a friend who had perhaps just escaped the same corner you were in to help out, sometimes even just by allowing you to laugh. It was the fun times that helped us turn the sharpest corners. Maybe it was spending a day at the mall, talking in British accents, or maybe just a well-placed joke about cats. In chem class, we literally saw the colors the world had to offer, and we exploded gummy bears. We could have used any old sugar substance in various solutions to produce a colored flame, but according to Mrs. Bukowski, it is so much more fun to send the gummy bears to their deaths. It's a lot more memorable, too. Then there were times last year, like when Miss Malone encouraged my ridiculous rhetoric vocabulary sentences about my friends, since that's what helped me learn the words and the writing techniques, and guided me out of so many confusing corners. Sometimes I had to backtrack, thinking I would just go in circles, but realizing that I had arrived at someplace completely new. Other times, various successes along the way encouraged me, and I began to run forward, only to hit a new wall, one I hadn't seen coming. The construction, too, left us literally lost in the hallways. I felt like I was at freshman orientation again when I had to go search for my new locker this past winter. We would come into school some days to find new developments in the construction. First, it was a dirt pile blocking the first row of the junior parking spots, and announcements telling us to stay away from the trench near the JV baseball and softball fields. Then came the missing ceiling tiles, which caused the light in the hallways to look as if they were going to fall. Random hallways would be closed off as new ones were opened. But that year of construction kept each day interesting, and I think we were all glad we got windows in the cafeteria and a wide open stairway, at least for a little while. It was especially well worth the hassle when we provided the opportunity to eat lunch outside, in the bright daylight, and escape from the darkness of the maze, if just for a little. The last turn I had to make was this speech. Trust me, it is not easy to write this, and probably just as difficult to be up here reading it. I couldn't have done it alone. I had lots of help. Some people maybe just lessen the stress of it by telling me silly suggestions, like reading it in an accent, another language, or throwing in some meows. Some were completely ridiculous, like suggesting that I interpretive dance instead. And it's a really good thing I didn't go with that, because I'm not exactly great at dancing. In fact, my dancing is quite the disaster, although that's never stopped me from trying. Some people merely encouraged me and believed in me. Then there were a few, teachers and friends, who dedicated their time to help brainstorm and edit. I was stuck at that last corner, and they helped me to see which way to turn to reach the end. Through senior year, I could see the bright light at the end of the maze, growing larger as I approached it. Instead of only one right path now, there emerged several completely different ones. Each path led to the exit of the maze. Each was promising. Some would be more difficult than others, I knew, and would emerge with a different view of the world, but we all had to pick a path. Now, at graduation, I stand at the far edge of the maze, looking before me at the golden fields of opportunity, and a brightly colored city in the distance. Some of you I know have taken different paths, and some of you may have different views, but every single one of us graduates today has a whole world of color awaiting him or her. At first, the light may hurt our eyes, but in time, we will grow accustomed to it. But despite this, it's never going to fade. Soon, I'll embark on my journey to cross that field, and I know it isn't going to be an easy walk. My obstacles will no longer be darkness, twists, and turns, but a whole new set of challenges to overcome in the light of day, the light of my education. I'll have rivers to swim across, mountains to climb, cliffs to scale, canyons to cross, and perhaps extreme weather to bear. You may ask, what kind of field has random cliffs in it? But you might be surprised, for you never know what you're going to find. I'm not worried though, because that maze has prepared me with all of the skills I need to set out on my adventure across that field. Norton High School has prepared us all for what will now come that we've exited the maze, which is all we've ever known. We're ready to navigate our way through the future. I'm only 18 years old, and have only ever lived in small town Norton, and I've been stuck my entire life deciphering the same mazes as all of you. And so, as I enter into the light of my future, I do not think I, alone, am yet wise enough to send us all off into the world, fully prepared to be successful, because I, too, have a lot to learn. And so, in the more eloquently put words of Ernest Hemingway, I urge you to always keep in mind that it is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters, in the end. We have made it to the end of the maze that is high school, but what matters more is what you bring with you into the well-lit world that now surrounds us. Again, congratulations, and enjoy the rest of this memorable evening. Thank you.
Good job, though.